The following overview presents the value and example use cases of LocaleIQ for cities and counties. In its simplest form, LocaleIQ combines mapping with content management and analytics. But what makes us different is that we focus on giving our customers a way to create location awareness through contextual maps. We started LocaleIQ as a solution for public land managers to map their lands and infrastructure to share this information with their visitors in an interactive digital map. But then they told us, hey, wait a minute, we need maps for internal operations and to plan and collaborate. And we also want to make this location information really valuable by letting us add dynamic information such as closures, alerts, notifications, and accessibility, inventory and resource tracking, and planned and unplanned events, and track the impact of these changes on things like mobility and public safety. Essentially, they wanted interactive digital maps that help them manage and share not just location information, but details on all the dynamic information about a location that they need for both internal operations and civic engagement. For smart cities, we start with the idea that while you likely have a small number of GIS staff in your organization, your cities has thousands of staff, whether employees or contractors, that interact with location-specific planning, events, projects, resources, and civic engagement every day. These are the employees and contractors who should be able to interact with and manage their own location information and projects. The land managers we initially worked with said that the mapping solutions they are using, such as Esri, are simply too difficult for a vast majority of their staff to use, and their non-GIS expert staff could not use them from the field at all. LocaleIQ, on the other hand, is specifically built for any staff member to create and manage maps and detailed location information, and to publish this information in real time, which was what they needed for truly dynamic and ever-changing information. Everything they wanted turned out to apply equally to smart city management, from planning to development, maintenance, and civic engagement. The result is the LocaleIQ SaaS platform for smart cities that combines content management, interactive digital maps, and online publishing that any employee with or without GIS expertise can manage.
Let's take a look at some use cases for LocaleIQ and see how the LocaleIQ differentiates itself from other platforms in the market today. First, we're going to begin with the City of Santa Monica and their interactive park finder. The city was looking for the ability to build an interactive park finder that delivered a richer experience than those currently available. But secondly, and more importantly, was it had to be able to be managed by their non-technical teams within the city. They didn't want to use web or GIS resources to have to maintain this solution. And this is where LocaleIQ fit in perfectly. LocaleIQ platform does not require any coding experience. Everything is done through a web interface. It's all collaborative, done in the cloud. They started out by importing their GIS data for their 46 parks and amenities to build out their initial map. And from here, you can see that users have the ability to click on any park and then drill down into that park. This is the key feature with LocaleIQ, is the ability to drill down into a map to get greater detail. Here, once they've drilled down into the park, they'll get real-time information, all delivered on demand. This provides the park description, park location. They can get directions to the park by different modes of transportation. The users can actually manage links to outside documentation or other resources, as well as things to do, contact information, amenities, and much more. Since every object within the LocaleIQ database is its own entity, users can then click on the Cove Skate Park and from there see information that's delivered on demand and in real time, such as, again, the description, the hours of operations, any current conditions, access, or whatever other information that they are looking for. All of this is managed in one portal and delivers both a web experience and a mobile experience for end users. The mobile experience is the same, where users can come on a mobile experience. They get dynamic results delivered to them. Based on how our parks built out their solution, by adding certain features and adding certain amenities or metadata to that feature, we'll build out dynamic search and filter opportunities, such as the ability here to search for baseball parks, basketball courts, and other things. If they were on a park with trails, they could add mountain biking, horseback riding, dogs allowed to a trail, and then users would be able to search for only mountain biking trails. If this is economic development and they're looking at parcel data, they could add zoning, and users could search by different zoning types. It's all done dynamically through the platform. Then customers can add the ability to bring on other modules, such as the ability to show users directions, real-time weather, or other modules like that. Once we added in all of their data, we then started to connect to real-time data sources. They wanted to not only be able to provide all this information about the parks, but how to get there. So from there, we connected to their real-time IoT device data. As you can see here, we brought in their Breeze bike share data to provide where bikes were real-time for bike sharing, transit information, bus stops, bus routes, and real-time bus locations and schedules, and then lastly, tied to their parking sensor data so users could see real-time parking information. All of this provided a much richer experience for Santa Monica Park users so that they can actually not just find the park they're looking for, find the park that has the amenities they're looking for, and then find the parking information associated with that park. It provides a much richer experience than other solutions. So once the parks have been added and everything's up and running, we have real-time operations that we need to run on a daily basis. As many of you know, this year's City of Santa Monica had a very large fire, the Woolsey Fire. Here you have to change real-time accessibility, update conditions and closures, and put out real-time alerts. With LocaleIQ, you can click on any entity and schedule it to be closed from now until Sunday, or from Monday from 1 o'clock until 4 o'clock. It'll automatically show up. You can override the styles so that instead of being a gray road, it'll show up as a red road. Or as you can see here, we've added icons to show that it's closed. And you can also add other temporary information scheduled, such as shelters, animal shelters, and other important information during a crisis. This can also be used not just during a crisis, but it can also be used during other solutions, such as a farmer's market that happens every Saturday, and a road is closed from 1 to 4 during the period of the farmer's market. So you can click on the road, add the event of a farmer's market, put on there every Saturday from 6 a.m. to noon, and close the road from 5 a.m. till 1 p.m. With LocaleIQ, everything can be scheduled. You set it and then forget it. It'll automatically close when it's supposed to close, and it'll reopen when it wants to reopen. This also provides the feature for our customers to have the ability to provide their users with the ability to search a map in the future. So I can look at a park on Saturday and see what events or other things are happening on that park or closures that will be affected on Saturday. So having the ability to real-time look at data or look at scheduled data is a key feature within LocaleIQ. Next, LocaleIQ allows us to not only do the consumer community engagement, but we can also do the planning pieces as well. So in this case, we're going to look at economic development for Tuolumne County. Here we can actually manage parcels. We have the ability to click on any parcel or any area and add demographic information, zoning information. Users can search and filter by these criteria. You can click and get down to an individual parcel, view that parcel history, and then you can enrich it with critical information such as multimedia files, permits, and other stuff, change zoning and tax information, or update sales history. We have over 40 different smart forms across all of our different verticals, so you can add many kinds of rich data that append and enhance your experience for that data. All of this requires no coding or any expertise. LocaleIQ doesn't just support parks and recreation or planning. We know that cities are industries of industries, and you have to support many functions across your city. For that reason, you can see here, these are just some of the verticals that we support within your city. So we can do recreation, tourism, events, attractions, sports and concessions. There's over 35 different kinds of verticals that we support today. The nice thing is we also allow you to add objects to other objects. So in other words, you can add a park and then you can add a concession to a park. You can add an attraction and then you can add an event to that attraction. So you can not only support these industries, but you can add different industries under these industries to make a more robust and more complete picture of what's going on. The other key feature within LocaleIQ is that we not just a tool to publish everything publicly. We understand that you have some data that's internal and some data that's available to the public. Open data, per se. With LocaleIQ, you can change each entity to be internal only or public, as well as other publishing attributes you can set to it. But in this case, the City of Santa Monica, for their public view, wanted to basically share where the volleyball courts were and other key features were, but they didn't want to show users an overwhelming amount of information that just wasn't necessary, like where every park bench was. Even though they have the geographical data port, it's just overwhelming for users to see where every drinking fountain and park bench is. Internally, they have these objects in there. They can right-click on it, they can add a project to it, they can add tasks to it, they can manage it internally, but the consumers or visitors don't have to see this information. This makes a nice blend where you have one system where you're managing both your internal and external data. So how easy is all of this to do? LocaleIQ is a cloud-based tool where our customers set up their own users' accounts. You manage the members, you manage their rights through tools, and once you're in the tool, you'll see that it's very simple to come in and you'll search for the objects you're looking for. You can find the park. Once you're in the object, you can easily manage it through web forms. You can add rich descriptions, you can add multiple languages, you can add contact information per object, you can add location information, multimedia files, and over 40 different kinds of smart form data based on what kind of entity you're adding. If you're adding a restaurant, we'll ask you to add a menu. If you're adding a trail, we'll ask you what activities are available. If you're adding a hotel, we'll ask you what kind of accommodations are available. So we have over 40 different smart forms where we ask that data. It's very simple to add multimedia. Simply click on Add, go to your photo, update it. We'll provide it on our servers with multiple resolutions. If you want to map something that you don't have mapped yet today, you can simply add a point to a map. You can customize your icons, or you can customize the styles by using our drag and drop tools to just draw it in, using satellite photography. In the end, you can build your own customer experience, fully embedded. Next, LocaleIQ has rich analytics. Because every object is its own object, we can actually provide you a lot more detail about how users are engaging with your properties and locations than other systems. As you can see here, we track visitors, information, and how they interact with your site. You can get location analytics such as how many people have clicked on the park from within the park or from outside of the park, and what was the average distance away from the park or your entity that they were. How many page views did you get? How many map views did you get? How many people actually clicked on an info box within your solution? What was their time on site, as well as other key reports such as content and inventory reports. How many park benches do you have? How many different kinds of objects do you have? Features. Next, we have a project management tool built within the solution. So if you click on that park bench and you said this park bench needs to be painted, you can actually track that as a task, record that, and do all the reporting for cost and trails on that. Lastly, we provide our users with the ability to do all the audit logs and visitor logs so they can actually get a deeper information. This is mostly focused on your IT or administrative departments, but we audit, trail, and log everything so that your team can understand exactly how users are interacting with the site, both internal portal users and your external customers. For more information about LocaleIQ, you can reach us at contact@LocaleIQ. We can customize a demo for your team, and we'd be happy to talk to you at any time.